I cannot believe that Lamine Yamal is going to be facing Lionel Messi in the Finalissima in the summer of 2025. Can you guys believe that? It's crazy how time does work, right? Because we all thought about a year ago that Messi was never going to be able to play against Lamine Yamal, or Yamal was never going to be playing against Lionel Messi because the age gap is just too big. And we also asked, like, what competition would allow for these two players, Yamal and Messi, to play against one another? Maybe it could be Barcelona versus Inter Miami during a preseason friendly. But no, we got even better. It's going to be in a final. It's going to be the winner of the Euro versus the winner of the Copa America, Argentina versus Spain, in the summer of 2025. And Lamine Yamal and hopefully Lionel Messi will be there. I'm not going to lie to you guys. When I saw Messi struggle to finish the match against Colombia and seeing how his right ankle was not doing so well, I'm like, look, the reason why Messi even got injured in the first place is because he did something that a regular athlete should be doing, which is to sprint for the ball before the ball does go out. Messi cannot really do that at the age of 37 anymore. It's showing us that there is hints that Messi is going to the end of his career, because any other athlete or normal athlete would be able to reach to the ball and successfully complete that cross in the very last minute within that play. But Messi cannot do that at the age of 37 years old. Am I blaming Messi, or am I saying that Messi is trash now? No. When you are 37 years old, of course you're going to be getting injured that easy. Like, for example, if Luis Suarez does a 40-yard sprint, he's going to be pulling his hamstring. It's just normal. And with Messi, he can't do certain things that he used to do 5 to 6 years ago. It's just part of football. And so when I see these things and I'm thinking about these things, I'm like, could Messi actually make it to the summer of 2025 without saying that he's going to be retiring? Not football, but for the Argentinian national team. Because when you play for Argentina, knowing their competitions like the Copa America, the World Cup, and all of these other important games, right? You have to come in at 100%. You can't come in and play slow, react slow, get injured easily. You are demanded a lot when you start for Scaloni's Argentinian national team. These are conversations that I know Messi is having right now in his head. He's like, okay, am I overdoing it? Am I overstaying my welcome? Should I just stop here? Some players like to take that route. Before it becomes a disaster, they just leave the club or they leave the country. Like Cruz, like Xavi, like Iniesta. It happens all the time. Maybe Messi could be seeing the exact same thing, and I hope not. I hope that this is just a regular right ankle injury and that he just comes back fully prepared yet again and just restructures the way that he does play, right? As you age, you do always have to take a different approach to the game. But man, do I want to see Messi go up against Lamine Yamal. Not because Messi is going to be scoring more goals than Yamal, or Yamal is going to be scoring more goals than Lionel Messi, or they're going to be defending against one another, but it's just, I believe it's a symbol to show to the football that Messi is handling the mantle. And what better way to do this but to hold it at the Spotify Camp Nou in the summer of 2025. Messi going back to the Camp Nou, Lamine Yamal also being there. The story of that game would be immense, because Messi is also going to be having his Argentinian friends and playing against many of the players against Spain that he does know. So Joan Laporta, if you are watching this, make sure that you make this happen. Make sure that you host the Finalissima in your brand new stadium that's going to be holding 100,000 people, if not even more. And so I'm really happy with the way both competitions turned out. I wanted Spain to win the Euros, and it happened. I wanted Argentina to win the Copa America, and so it happened. I'm going to be talking about a little of both games in this video, so I hope you guys do enjoy this one, because I do have a lot of opinions regarding many of the players for both national teams. Starting with Spain. Spain won against England 2-1, with Mikel Oyarzabal scoring the winner on the 86th minute. Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams combined amazingly in the first goal for Spain on the 47th minute. We saw Lamine Yamal running down the right flank. He does pass it towards Nico Williams, and Nico Williams ended up being by himself, and he scores the goal and puts the ball into the corner. I want us to notice something here, right? The reason why this goal even happened was because Bellingham did not defend Carvajal well. Bellingham was supposed to mark Carvajal and make sure that he does not have such an easy way to pass it to Lamine Yamal. England were playing in a 4-4-2 press, using Bellingham as I would say a left midfielder, which is the reason why he was guarding Carvajal. But in the play before the goal happened that Nico Williams scored, you can see that Bellingham allows for Carvajal to go up. Bellingham was too busy telling other players or his teammates to defend other players like Lamine Yamal, and Carvajal was open. That is a player Bellingham should have marked, and Bellingham did not see that. So eventually Carvajal got the ball, he drives the ball forward, and in the end Bellingham does not even try to mark neither Lamine Yamal or Carvajal, and that is how Carvajal ended up passing it towards Lamine Yamal. And he got the ball, he dribbles closer to the box, he's dragging a lot of English players in, and then again Nico Williams receives the ball and puts the ball into the back of the net. So I believe that this was a huge mistake for Bellingham, but in the game overall I think that he had a great game, right? It was just this mistake that allowed for Spain to score the first goal. He won 9 out of 14 ground duels. He also gave the assist to Palmer. Palmer was able to score on the 73rd minute and made it 1-1, and then eventually Spain scored their second goal, which led to 2-1. And so I really do like this Spain team. I like the way that they have beaten England by trying to outscore the opposition. I think that Spain also, I would say, is a very much more of a high-scoring Spain. It's not necessarily a team that likes to win 1-0 or 2-1 in every match. This team won 3-0 against Croatia, won against Italy 1-0, and then secured a win against Albania 1-0. Then it was 4-1 against Georgia, 2-1 against Germany, 2-1 against France, and then 2-1 against England. They scored plenty of goals, and all thanks to the flair of Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams, with Morata also bringing in a lot of creative ideas. And so nobody has ever scored 15 goals at a European championship. But this team, I would say, is very young, it's ambitious, it's exciting, and it all really did pay off to win this trophy. Now, I'm not going to lie, I was a little scared when I saw Rodri come off the game, came off very early in the match in the second half. We still needed to play another 30 minutes when he left because he did encounter an injury. And I saw Rodri have so many great defensive duels against Phil Foden, against Harry Kane, against Jude Bellingham. Rodri was doing all of the dirty work. So when I saw him go out, I'm like, who else is going to come in for Rodri? Because Rodri is like the heart of Spain. And then came in Zubimendi, a player that is highly rated by FC Barcelona, by Arsenal, and by many other clubs. Many clubs right now do want Zubimendi, and Zubimendi showed his class in the match against England. I saw so many England fans and even the commentators saying, we don't know if Spain are going to be handling the pressure of England because with Rodri out, Zubimendi is not going to be doing anything. They were saying that Phil Foden and Bellingham and Kane, Declan Rice are going to be overpowering the midfield of Spain. But then Zubimendi proved them wrong. Zubimendi did amazing within the double pivot position with Fabian Ruiz. As expected, right? I continue to say that Zubimendi is a great addition to anybody's midfield. He knows how to defend, he knows how to slide tackle, he knows how to intercept, he knows how to occupy spaces, he's very good on the ball. He is very much Barcelona material. I think that when you put a price tag of 50 million euros on this player, that is a steal for any club. I strongly think that Barcelona should be going for the player before somebody else grabs him, because Zubimendi is still very young. He's only 24, 25 years old. He has a lot of room to grow, and he's only going to get stronger from here. At the moment, we just don't know whether the 1-1 rule, after it does get greenlit, is going to permit us to still buy somebody like Zubimendi after Nico Williams does arrive. Zubimendi had 32 touches, 24 out of 26 accurate passes, 1 key pass, 5 out of 5 ground duels won, and he had 3 total tackles. I would say that maybe he did 1 mistake, but like every other player, they all make mistakes, right? Same like Bellingham, same thing like with every other player. Zubimendi also made a slight mistake that allowed for England to score their first goal. Palmer was left unmarked, and Zubimendi should have been there to defend the shot of Palmer, and he was nowhere to be seen in this play. As for the game between Argentina and Colombia, that game was a disaster, I would say, because I don't know if you guys were up watching the match, because I know that some of you guys have different time zones, but this game started so late, dude. Like, I thought that this game on our time was supposed to start at 5. The game did not start until 6:30. You know why there was a 1 hour and 30 minute delay to this match? It was because there were so many Colombians, so many Argentinians running into the stadium without any security, without a ticket, without anything. They weren't being checked, and that's very dangerous. When you have random people running into the stadium without getting checked and without a ticket, of course the security had to say, we cannot allow for this game to start because there are so many people in the stadium that should not even be here in the first place. And then we even saw the security close doors on the people to not even get in, even though they paid like $8,000 to $4,000 for their ticket. There were so many people complaining. It was a disaster. Can you imagine, right? Let's just say, for example, the average family has, you know, their wife and maybe 1 son, or maybe you're going with your brother and your sister, maybe like, let's just say 3 people, right? 3 to 4 people. Can you imagine spending $2,000 each on those tickets? You're spending like $6,000 or $8,000 in total. And most of these people did not even come in. Why? That's because random people just ran into the stadium. I don't know how the US wants to host the World Cup in 2026 when they're doing stuff like this. They're showing to everybody, not just within this match and who was watching this game, but they're showing to the whole world of football why the US is so unprepared. They have no security. They're not organized. We have seen this early, right? There was glimpses of the US's horrible security in the match between Uruguay and Colombia, when the Uruguayan players and their families were being attacked by the fans of Colombia. The security did nothing. They were so unorganized. And the same thing was happening, in a sense, before this match between Argentina and Colombia. It was a disaster. People were going into the vents. They were trying to hop over the fences. It was chaos. And so when the game finally started, I was already exhausted. Like, we saw this big delay, and then this game had to go all the way until the very last minute, until the 120th minute. This whole event did not even end until 10 p.m. on our side. So I can't even imagine what it was like for the people over there in Miami that do have a different time difference. They were probably up until 1 a.m. And for the people out there maybe in Europe or in Africa, you guys were probably watching this match like at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., all the way until 7 a.m. It was crazy. So when I saw Argentina versus Colombia Colombia, I saw two very defensively solid teams, very disciplined. Both teams were very organized at the back, and they did not allow for each other to make mistakes. Like we saw James Rodriguez, Luis Diaz carry the ball forward. They lost it to Lisandro Martinez or Christensen Romero. And then we saw either Messi or De Paul or Enzo Fernandez or Julian Alvarez trying to carry the ball forward. And then they lost it to Cuesta, to Sanchez, to Arias, the whole defensive line of Colombia, because they were so strong. And I'm like, it's like an immovable object going up against an unstoppable force. And I knew that these players were tired, because by the time we got into the extra time, the only thing that we were seeing was long balls, players losing the ball over and over again. There was like no game plan. And then Scaloni had to make some changes, and he had to, because the players just, they could not play anymore. Messi unfortunately had to leave on the 66th minute because of the right ankle injury. And then, you know, Argentina did not have Messi. Argentina were on their own, and they had to really give it their all against Colombia without the creativity of Messi. So we saw Nicolas Gonzalez come in for Messi, and then later in the match we saw Lautaro Martinez, which I believe was the most important substitute on that night, come in for Julian Alvarez on the 96th minute. We saw Lo Celso come in for Enzo Fernandez, Paredes for Mac Allister, and then Otamendi for Angel Di Maria. Angel Di Maria is now officially retired. He played his last game with the Argentinian national team. It was a very emotional night for Di Maria, because I know that he's going to be missing football, but he left on a high note because of winning the Copa America. I wish that he could be there for the Finalissima in 2025, but it's okay. He leaves on a high note. So eventually we saw Lautaro Martinez scoring the winner for Argentina that made it 1-0. Lautaro Martinez ended up winning the Golden Boot for this tournament. Lautaro Martinez has been having one hell of a season, and he especially came up for the Argentinian national team. Colombia fought so hard, but Argentina fought even harder. They were so experienced with scenarios like this, when it is so hard to grab a win and you have to go to extra time. We saw that in the World Cup, and that is why Scaloni started with the exact same players that we saw 2 years ago in the World Cup. It was Julian Alvarez, Messi, De Paul, Di Maria, Mac Allister, Enzo Fernandez, Tagliafico, Lisandro Martinez, Romero, and Montiel. These players were ready. They knew how this movie was going to end. And so I don't know about you guys, but when you fully analyze the Argentina versus Colombia match and the England versus Spain match, you can just see that it's much more, I would say, hard fought in the Copa America. You can just see that there is more stress, more tensions, more physicality, more basically everything. In the Euros, it does have that, and especially in the game between Spain and England, but it's just down 2 or 3 steps below. When you play a match in the Copa America, everything just seems much more alive, much more tense. Even when the fans, when they sing their national anthem, they cry when they sing their national anthems. Like, you can see the spirit. You can see and fully feel what these fans are feeling, even if you're not from their country. And so props to Argentina for winning another Copa America. Messi, yet again, wins the second one in his career. It's amazing what they have been doing. Argentina, in the past 5 years, have only lost twice in 62 matches. And it's not just Messi doing these incredible things. Like, Enzo Fernandez does amazing things. Lisandro Martinez and Christian Romero are amazing at the back. And with Martinez, the goalkeeper, he's just amazing in scenarios like this. You can see his passion. You can see the way that he does play and the way that he defends and blocks the shots, especially in penalties. He is just that guy. And so all this does lead to the ultimate game. Spain versus Argentina. Messi's Argentina versus Lamine Yamal's Spain team. Who is going to be taking that title? I cannot wait to see, and we will be there, and we will be talking about that game. So that is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.